But yeah, I feel like in this situation, Relax is going to have to get a lot out of their bottom lane, either by killing off the Darkseer or, more importantly, by rotating those supports around. Do they have a smoke on either of them? They don't on the Rubik. I just saw that.
No, they do not.
Yep, so no smoke. I don't know. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take a run at the Darkseer. They're actually teleporting someone down. That is the Bruise coming down here. And MSS actually loops around through the side shop and buys himself a TP scroll. He's going to try to buy time to get as far away as he can. He's actually been spotted by it, though. And he's kind of trying to eat his way through. He's going to surge, but runs right into Yoki. And the cogs go down, so MSS trying to get a little too cute with the escape path. Will end up being our first blood, and it goes to the Brewmaster as well. So Relax, well, they kind of got a free one that time.
Yeah, and Darkseer ended up using like 4 or 5 tangos there to try to save himself, so he's going to be low in regen too.
Yep.
And it looks like the thing was they were expecting an aggressive tri-lane, so their lanes were predicting aggressive tri-lane so they could get more out of it, but seems like lane phase didn't go as they wanted to, so Panda TP'd bottom, and they're going to switch it up.
On that off lane, there will be Shallow on the clock, and he's got a good start, sitting at level 3 already, so he should feel fairly confident being able to hang in lane and do his job. I mean, obviously, against the aggressive potential of a Bane and a Mirana alone, that's tough to do, but for now, we'll focus on the other lanes as everything does seem to be settling down with MSS moving his way on into the jungle. He's going to go ahead and stack that hard camp. In mid, we can see it's about even. Puck and Shadow Fiend roughly on par with each other in levels, 12-2 to 13-5. A little bit of a lead for Tame, but nothing huge.
Yeah, but the problem with this for him is, like, Shadow Fiend, once he gets his souls up, he's going to be able to free farm this mid lane against Puck, and he's going to need some ganks at some point, or the Shadow Fiend will free farm and have his timings, which he desperately needs.
So the way the lanes are now, looks like this will be how it's going to... It looks like it's going to be stable like this for a bit. Who do you give the advantage to?
It's hard to say. I mean, they have the Shadow Fiend in mid, which is doing... He's on track, and that's always what you want to see, but the early rotations kind of caught Relax off guard, so they should be losing in experience a little bit, and they are. But the gold, they did get the first blood, so they're good in that department. So relatively calm and even laning phase right now.
Bottle out. No career snipes happening this time. And, yeah, really, I guess all we can really do is look ahead to what objectives each side might have. The roam potential is gigantic on the side of Mouse, but it's not bad for Relax either. We can see Dread stacking this hard camp up, so that's going to be a lot of farm whenever they decide to bring the Shadow Fiend on in. And Dread now going to find himself an invis. There's no target in bottom lane for him to go after, but he may try to make something happen mid. Problem is, Puck notoriously hard to track down, especially at this phase when he's had enough time to get up a sufficient amount of levels.
But with the Shackles, they might be able to bring him down. If they had level 2 Ether Shot, I think for sure, but this could be a first blood if they play absolutely perfectly.
Second blood.
Or second blood, I'm sorry.
Yep. Fatal very good at Puck, though, as we see. The guy gets him Shackles from long range. He just used his jaunt. There's another phase shift. Do they have the damage? They don't. So Fatal zigging and zagging and finding his way to safety. There's going to be a rocket flare. Ooh, that was on the mark. If he had hit one more auto attacker, even connected with that second raise, that would have been a kill. Instead, Fatal able to limp away, or I guess limp and drag a wing back to safety as he makes it away very, very low. In the meantime, Misery's rotating the top. Looks like they want to try to pick off Shallow underneath his own tier 1. Here comes the dive. He's going to show himself in lane now, being pursued out. And, ow, he actually lost him in vision. Shallow drops the cogs and is finding himself into a safe area. Arrow's going to be missed as well. Shallow trying to juke and jive, but doesn't matter. Help's coming. It's going to be a little bit too late. As Mouse finds their way on. Now, big reaction, though. It's going to be a nightmare onto the Brewmaster. Windix there with him in case. Relax, though. Looks like they're
TP'd their whole bottom lane up there and didn't get anything out of it. That's kind of a big deal. They're going to have to force themselves into like an aggressive tri-lane situation now. But none of them really have mana. Like Rubik's out of mana. I guess the Shadow Shaman does have
Nightmare
mana,
on the Tame My Wild in mid. Fatal.
No coil.
Yep, coming forward. And I guess, yeah, just needed to make sure he knew that they meant business. That's all.
Yeah, if they would have had one more creep, they wouldn't be able to get him there. He was one creep off of that coil, and that would have for sure been a kill. So timing a little bit off there from both sides now, going for that mid gank.
6 minutes in, 2 kills, split right down the middle, 1 apiece. Mirana, #1 in last hits so far. She's at 35 CS, but we're beginning to see the Shadow Fiend, as he always does, really kick in here in mid. Shallow grabs himself a haste rune. He's going to move into the jungle. He actually is going to go behind, and he might have a shot at the courier if he wanted to take it. Doesn't look like he does, or he's not aware of it, actually. He didn't see it. Misery's going to walk right up to him. He's going to back off. Doesn't want to be spotted. Don't know if Misery saw him or not. Don't think he did. Might have there. And, yeah, I think he did. Yeah, pinged out immediately. So he's just going to go ahead and head back to lane.
Yeah, and right now I'm just looking at the levels real quick. Shadow Shaman level 3, Rubik level 2. They're kind of lacking there, whereas the supports on the Mouse are both level 4. So supports paying a price for this early roaming they had to do just by not knowing what the lanes were. He was up there and got nothing, which that won't reflect in the gold graph, but it's kind of a big deal.
It's a momentum kind of a thing, you know, in terms of just being totally on level. We can see Misery once again in Viz mid under cover of smoke. Unfortunately for him, the Shadow Fiend has moved into the jungle. Is now going to work on these creeps. That stack should still be there and is. So he's going to have his Midas done, like, basically now. He doesn't have enough mana to go and raise anymore. He'll be waiting on his bottle to come back out. Once it's there, though, he can go raise down that stacked hard camp, and he'll have his Midas up probably around 8.5 to 9 minutes.
He can't show his face mid now, so he's, like, really close to it right now, 50 gold off. But if he shows his face, he's going to die to Fada's coil because he is really low.
Yep, he's going to move forward. And one more raise. Nope. Gets a deny. Just waiting on one last CS. There's his bottle, though. So he'll feel much more confident coming out and actually foregoing CS in favor of denies there.
He'll get it because regardless of chickens in use, it'll take up to his. But yeah, he's going to have that 8-minute Midas, which is a good timing for him. And on bottom lane, we do have the Brewmaster, who does have Splink Dagger money as well. So so far they're hitting their timings well. They just need their level 6 in Clockwork, which he's been struggling to find. He's level 4, some early rotations not working out, and him dying, of course. But once they have that up as well, Arrow, and it will connect.
Let's see if they can follow it up. Nightmare's there. There's going to be the leap ahead. Starstorm and a Brain Sap brings him down, so that's the second death Shallow's had already, being slowed down even more. 2-1. Mouse takes the lead in kills. They're going to go ahead and push that tower off of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, this Clock is having a rough time, and he just, that wasn't even set up by a Nightmare. That was just a blind arrow, and he caught him, and Clock is really struggling this game, so I feel like a lot of pressure is going to be on this Brewmaster, who just now picks up his Blink Dagger.
A lot of pressure on the Brewmaster, and Clock, when he does hit 6, needs to hit his hooks. How many times have we seen in the qualifiers? You know, Clock is just, he's like a punch, man. If you hit your hooks and they're well shot, you're going to be in great shape. But they need to get usage out of him, even though he is likely to be a little under-leveled and a little under-farmed. The Brew, as you said, is going to have to be of high value in particular, too, with a lane dedicated to him, and they do have a ton of push power, by the way, with the Brewmaster able to dive and the Shadow Shaman. If they can get Shadow Shaman to 6 and maybe start taking towers, they're going to be in great shape.
Yeah, they definitely will be, and Hoth has been doing a good job on this bot lane, just soaking experience, just hitting level 6, so that is now available. I think if he can shoot that mid lane, looks like he's, they're pinging on top lane. If he shoots a ult to mid lane, he can easily kill Dread here with a Dream Coil.
There's the ulti.
Looks like it's going to top lane.
Yep, shot, yeah, that was odd. Shot at the woods.
All right.
And that actually did catch Tame here in mid, so still no follow-up. Dread's there hanging out right now. They're splitting experience. Tame again with that Midas, and did go clear the jungle quite a bit. He's actually got an Ogre Club up already, so making excellent progress towards his core BKB.
Yeah, he really wants to get that BKB if he's fast. Normally you see power treads directly after. This gives you some attack speed and some HP, but he wants to rush that BKB very quickly, and I don't disagree completely with it. I think the treads is a little better, because if you get that BKB too early and you waste a couple of charges, it kind of falls off really quickly, just the charges go down. So, and the power treads plus Ogre Club gives you usually enough HP where you can survive anyways until you can finish it off.
It does make sense, though. I mean, when you look at Mouse, they're relying on magic heavily to be able to defend until the Mirana, if and when she's actually able to start building some right click. She's not off to a bad start. Again, her net worth second on the board, sitting at 4,800 to the 5,000 amassed by the Shadow Fiend so far. But they are so reliant on that magic damage. If they're able to hit a proper timing with the Brewmaster Blink, Clock at 6, Shadow Shaman 6, and just start taking towers, and when a big fight does eventually break out, if he's quick with it and doesn't allow himself to be Fiend's Grip, that's really going to be the equalizing factor. Relax does have a team that I feel like could just seize control of the mid game and start to apply the stranglehold a bit.
Yeah, they definitely have a nice lineup. I'm actually a little worried for Mouse right now. Like, their lineup is okay. They're kind of all in on this, like, Mirana. And on top of it, it looks like they're going to go in with the hook shot.
Yep, Shallow got the cogs down, pulling back, and there's going to be Yoki. And Misery caught, brought back. A ultimate does connect on the 2, though. They're going to come back forward, maybe try to go for a kill, and Misery going to be hexed out. Now there's a split from Brewmaster. Misery should end up dead here to nothing but burn damage. Can he stay? No, he actually darts to the north, and Misery just hoping they don't find him, while the rest of the Pandas look for him. Yeah, he's going to be able to make it away. So very close to just burning down to the Fire Spirit instead. Makes it away. Coil spent on Tame. Tame in mid down to about half health. He's going to jump right on top of him. Gets the Waning Rift off as well. AA is there. Here's Dread though. And Tame comes back out. There's going to be Shackles. But here comes the Starstorm. That gets the kill. And Dread brought down as well. They have to lose the Ancient Apparition in the process. But still a very high value kill to bring down the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, they were able to not only bait out Panda ult, when we talk about time and time again, you have to get a lot done with those first couple Panda ults or the hero does fall off. And then in mid lane as well, their second problem they were facing was the Shadow Fiend. They get a kill there too. So they take care of like two of their biggest problems, and they will get a tower on bottom as well. So within that last minute and a half, Mouse got a lot of work done, but I was saying I was a little worried for them because I feel like they're kind of stretched in on what they need to be doing like in the early game. And late game, what do they have? Just this Mirana for the most part, and she's not even going Midas. It's a purely aggressive lineup, and they don't have heroes that can really take towers down quickly. So they really have to get these tier 1s and deal to Shadow Fiend early, or else Relax. I feel like they're just in a more comfortable position just in the nature lineup.
Wendick spotted. There's an AA ultimate on the mark. Ancient Apparition secures that. And now a hook. That's going to be onto Fata. Let's see if they can keep him pinned in. He's going to phase shift. Yoki's there. Doesn't have his ultimate on call. Tame My Wild right there. Uses the ulti. Fata will be able to jaunt away. There's a sleep on the Yoki to buy some time for the rest of the team to group up. Mech showed off for the first time. Tame caught with the silence. He's on the back of this. Oh, wow. Nice coil. Got 3. And now Dread's going to end up dropping. Tame is hemmed up. They end up bringing down the Bane, but they lose Shadow Fiend for the second time in as many minutes. Vacuum buys a little bit of time. MSS will be able to make it away at the end of everything. So it ends up being a 7-3 Mouse lead. There's going to be an ultimate. It's going to be shot. That'll catch Yoki. Fata's still there playing very aggressive. Does manage to jaunt away. Caught the Fade Bolt, but not enough to bring him down. In the meantime, Shalo's still pursuing out some trouble, but rethinking it as he rushed the high ground, realized that's not a lot of health he had to call upon. But honestly, Mouse getting away with 3 heroes limping back to the fountain with about 100 HP maybe to rub between them. And that's another win. Shadow Fiend down for the second time in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to be doing right now with this line. They need to keep fighting as much as they possibly can because they have an advantage right now. And they're going to have an advantage until Shadow Fiend gets his BKB. Then I dare say, when Shadow Fiend gets the BKB, the team fight advantage goes the way of Relax, as long as it's in a reasonable time frame.
Fata's doing such a great job of just harassing Tame. He's making him spin bottle charges, making it a little bit more difficult for him to hang in lane, of course. Raises to help you flash farm regardless of pressure. So Tame back on track, but he has lost a lot of gold and a lot of time.
And on bottom lane, the arrow he's done for.
Well done. And Dread ends up dying to Pycat. As you said, they are kind of all in on this Mirana, but Pycat's doing a pretty good job. He's had an excellent early game. He's actually on top in net worth. Now 4-0 up at top. Misery going to be hit with a hook. And yeah, there's the Panda ulti inside of the cogs. They're going to be able to toss one into the air. Misery's still hanging around, but if they're having such a hard time, Coil will be spent to try and counter-initiate this. Fata caught with the rock afterwards. And let's see if he is elusive enough to make it away. Misery gets surged, and he's going to... Ooh, almost had Fiend's Grip up. Very quick blink from Yoki as he reassembled. Arrow shot again. That's going to catch Tame. Arrow's on point from Pycat. AA ultimate on the way. That's going to be another kill as the Shadow Fiend cannot stay standing. The pressure from Mouse so hard to deal with. They lose one on the back of that as Relax finally manages to catch them napping a little bit. Pycat should be safe, though. And looks like the Rubik actually stole Starstorm towards the end. But regardless of what they give up, trading just about anything for kills on that Shadow Fiend is exactly what they need, and they're doing a great job of keeping the pressure on and keeping him down.
Yeah, mousesports at this point is completely outplaying Relax. Like, hitting arrows on top of it, right on top of it, they get the AA blast. So just, not too much I'll say, but just complete outplay at this point from Mouse. They're just playing a lot better, whereas I give Relax, like, I thought they were going to do a lot better in these mid-game fights with the Brewmaster Ultimate. This has been 2 Brewmaster Ultimates in a row that hasn't got a single kill, to be honest with you.
He split in cogs.
Yeah.
Like, split with the enemy on either side, the other side of the cogs. Like, just a little weird. It's back on cooldown. And this Shadow Fiend has been sitting on a few hundred gold towards his Mithril Hammer for about the last 4 or 5 minutes now. So just delaying his item progression as usually as they have is a big factor. I mean, how often do you see a Mirana played in a 1 position who is out farming a mid Shadow Fiend who won his lane or at least broke even and got a Midas up at 8 minutes? Like, this is really just paying huge dividends for them.
Yeah, Pycat's playing amazing right now. He's hitting tons of arrows, getting a lot of solo pickoffs, but on top of it, Poss is hitting great ice blasts on top of it, and not to mention, like, Fada as well is playing a really great puck, so everyone on Mousesport is playing extremely well at this point.
See that bottom tower now looks to be the target. They've got 2 rotated down. Fada, under cover of smoke. MSS is smoked as well. They're just pushing it with the ion shell, trying to bait a single hero reaction at top. They're also pressuring the tier 1. Yoki is standing back in the trees. Should have an ultimate back off cooldown, I do believe. But at this point, yeah, it's going to be about 2 seconds.
Is under attack.
He's got to be a little gun shy with it. He's used it twice and has gotten next to nothing out of it. A ultimate will be shot. That's going to be again on the mark against Tame. He gets coiled, and he should end up shattering here. No, they actually deploy the wards. Feta will be brought down, but they do end up trading away the Shadow Fiend for it. Shalu's there with the cogs to punish MSS, so a 2-for-1 exchange, not optimum. But once again, the Shadow Fiend dies. That's what, his 4th, 5th death of the game. Now we're going to see Yoki caught with the Fiend's grip up in top lane. They're just pecking away, arrow to follow, and another great kill. Didn't even give him time to split. Well played.
Yeah, so at first I was going to say that was going to be good for Relax, even though the Shadow Fiend does go down. That kind of sucks for him, but they got 2 kills out of it. But they lost the Brewmaster in the process, so yet again, Mousesports taking every single team fight. If you can call them team fights. Every single engagement or skirmish.
Yeah, see, like, this is very often, you know, casters, we all kind of have our own lingo. You know, some of us share a lot of it. Some of us have their own things. This is what I usually refer to as carving up the map. They're just basically isolating parts of the map and going, we can win here. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be an AA ultimate plus an arrow. It could be a full-out 3-on-3 skirmish. It could be anything. You're just carving the map up and taking wins in pretty much every sector of the map they move a hero. And it's really impressive to see. They're showing us right now why they're favored by so many people to go deep.
Indeed they are, and they're doing a really good job at punishing this Midas Shadow Fiend. A lot of teams have Shadow Fiend, they get a Midas, and they allow him to free farm for a long time, and then they pay for it, but he's been so close. He would have had that BKB if he didn't go Midas, basically, at this point. But he wanted to get that Midas up, get his next item, and then after that just become a huge, like, threat. But he can't get that next item because they keep ganking him, and all he has is this Midas and Ogre Club.
He's been sitting on that for seriously like 7 minutes now.
He's been very close, and it's not his fault. It's just that Mouse has been applying so much pressure. He hasn't had the backup, basically.
Yeah, he can't breathe. Like, they're just choking him out. In the meantime, Pycat, who has had a phenomenal game, as we've seen, finishes up his Maelstrom. Is going to be a rocket shot into mid. Doesn't connect on much of anything. But yeah, Pycat's 6-0 and just finished a Maelstrom on top of Phase Drum's Aquila. Fantastic item progression for him. And this is what you want. Like, we always talk about Mirana, and her transition to a true one core into the late game is always kind of sketchy. It's up, it's down. Doesn't always happen the way you want it to. But he's right on par to just be able to slug toe-to-toe with just about anyone. Finally, we're going to see those Serpent Wards put to use in mid.
Vacuum.
Misery brought back, and A ultimate will be on the mark. Only caught Dread, though, so the rest backed out. There's a vacuum into a wall, and that should be enough to at least force them back and maybe keep the tower standing. Pycat's chasing a courier right near the Ancients, but it is microed to safety, at least for the moment. Yeah, finally they get it back, and poor courier just trying to get some arc boots through the body. Pycat's going to end TP out, though.
But yeah, Rubik's still vacuum there, and I don't think Bane noticed that. He vacuumed him into the lift and pulled him back further, so he covered a lot of distance there and got a great kill on the Bane there, and they almost got the tower down to kill range now. It's almost deniable, and if they can get that tower, that'll be huge, because Shadow Fiend, he's going to have his BKB now. This is really where it's going to be a lot harder for Mouse to fight, seeing he's level 14 with that Midas up and a BKB, and they don't really have anything other than Grip that goes through BKB, but if Panda gets his ult off, that should secure that Grip should never last 5 seconds.
Mouse is definitely wanting to go for the jugular. We actually just saw, looking at Puck's inventory, it looks, by all accounts, he's going for Dagon. Yeah, just bought it.
That's what Fada does with Puck. Yep. He builds Dagon more than any other Puck player.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, against this lineup, it makes sense. I mean, to a point, if you can put it to use and continue to just blow the face off of the Shadow Fiend with it before he gets his BKB up, it's well justified. And looks like Tame at least has one item. Does he have his full BKB?
It's
he does.
flying to him now.
Okay,
yes.
So that's a big nice pickup for them. And they do get the Blade Mail out on the Rubik as well, so Relax should have a chance to stabilize some.
Yeah, that Blade Mail on top of the Clockwork is going to be very big because they don't really have any BKB heroes other than the Mirana, but she's going for the Mjolnir first, which they normally will do. So if she can get a nice initiation, that Blade Mail will do a ton of work, and so will the BKB. So it looks like they're going for that tier 1 tower now. They know they're stronger at this point. Well, they should be stronger at this point, but we'll see if they can actually hold the defense here for Mouse.
MSS pressuring top. Looks like Mouse is spread out. Mouse might even concede this. It is very low already. And, yeah, just out of deny range, or would have been denied most likely. And looks like they're just going to go, well, they're going to shoot the ulti. And Relax, playing very conservatively. Here comes a big rotation, though. Arrow will connect on the Dread. There's going to be the hook on the Misery. Misery in trouble. Will end up dying right off the bat. And now they're collapsing. Fatah was there. Got the puck off, but it's 2 for 1 so far. There's going to be the Panda split, and Pycat just going to work in the meantime, though. Tame My Wild still there looking to pursue him out. He will leap down into the Roche pit, looking for any path out. Arrow dodged. And the Brewmaster split should just about be ready to end. Tame will be able to teleport to safety. And in the meantime, just running the Earth Spirit away to a safe distance. So even though they get the tower, they only got 1 hero and they gave up 3. At least they kept their cores up, but still, that's a very costly 180 HP tower.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, this Mirana ult is completely destroying Panda. I think they need to get a gem as soon as they can, because every time he pops an ultimate, Mirana just ults, and he doesn't have detection, and he's doing nothing with it. So, at this point, Panda's ult has done nothing, actually. Absolutely nothing. Every time they've used it, which is really worrisome for them.
Mouse now collapsing onto the tier 1 mid. They want to even the score. And Relax not going to react at all. So they gave up 3 for 1 to get the enemy tier 1. Now they're giving up their tier 1 for free. Rubik got Ion Shell, so a little bit annoying for them. Now if they can trade away top tier 1, it'll be okay. Wards are down, but that tower still has a lot of health. There's going to be the A ultimate in, and it hits him. Tame will be able to BKB, but will he end up shattering nonetheless? We'll have to find out.
He should be okay.
Yeah, he should be all right. In the Roche pit, Mao's going to work. They are just going to go ahead and concede that top tier 1, it seems. No, Fatah's there. He's just going to peck away. Yeah, they're not even going to be able to get it. And in the meantime, taking the opportunity, saying, okay, we know Tame's back at base. We know their team is scattered. Let's just go take an Aegis.
No reason not to at this point. Like, this Dagon has so much burst damage at this stage of the game. As you saw, Shadow Fiend almost died just from that combination alone. And he's their most tanky hero by far, other than the Brewmaster, who is making some progress towards that Aghanims, but at the same time, AA is making the same progress. Actually, he's closer to the Ags than that Panda is.
Pycat is getting huge and getting huge quick. Has a slot filled up with an Aegis now, but has picked up, his full Mjolnir. Has 500 gold. I mean, he is hitting deceptively hard for this stage of the game. 23 minutes in for a Mirana to be hitting this hard is actually pretty damn scary, all things considered. And they need it, because they are so completely reliant upon magic damage. But how do you feel about Relax's lineup moving ahead over the next 5 minutes or so?
I feel like they've definitely lost a huge window, and considering how farmed the Mirana is, the Shadow Fiend's not as scary. Oh, his orb will be down.
He's
so that's a little force saved.
And, unable to blink away. His blink on cooldown for about a second too long that time, so they get a decent pick there. He's down for about a minute. They're going to go ahead and try to finish the work they started at the tier 1 top. TP's coming in en masse, and looks like they're not interested in fighting. And that tells you, I mean, even with puck down, they don't want to fight. Arrow's going to the wickets, doesn't hit anything. They're aware Pycat's there, and that might be enough to force them to abandon the lane completely. They could do something cute like fake back. They do have a smoke up on the Rubik. Tames leading with the chin, right back up into lane. Bane, the only one that he can spot right now. Yeah, the rest of them fake backed. Tame didn't get caught with the smoke, but he wants to try to engage. Misery could be a decent target. He passes through. He's got help just to the north, though, in MSS. And here we go. Misery going to be lifted right into the cogs, and this should be an easy kill for them. Investing a lot of time, though, to do this, and only getting a couple of kills. The puck kill worthwhile. If they can get the tower, it'll justify the investment, but all this while, Mouse is just continuing to spread the map. Pycat even now split pushing bottom lane.
Yeah, at this point, the Mirana is going to be a huge problem. She is so farmed, but luckily for Panda, this isn't a game where Panda falls off really hard as a hero, because they don't have many heroes that can just knock down all the Brewmaster illusions. So, is there going to be a deny? No, almost. No. So, his spirits are going to be really effective even throughout the late game, considering Mirana is their only right-click damage. None of their other heroes can really bring them down, so they're still going to be very powerful. So, as far as late game goes, it still could be a very even matchup. Darkseer does scale well into the late game. Mirana, considering her farm, is going to scale very well into the late game as well. While meanwhile we have the Shadow Shaman. If he gets his blink up, he's getting close. That'll be good for the late game as well. Shadow Fiend, as always, is strong late game, and I think this is a good late game game for Brewmaster, if there was a good late game game.
Yep. But Mouse is continuing to put together their items, too. We see the Ancient Apparition right about now should be finishing that scepter. Yeah, I just bought the last piece, the Blade of Alacrity. So that's going to be done. And I actually feel like that's crippling for Relax. I mean, you have the BKB up on Shadow Fiend. You still have the Brewmaster ulti to rely on. But this is just one of those games where they got so little out of it early, and it's beginning to hit that point already where it's not nearly as scary. And now if you want to group as 5 and push, which is what you should have been doing a few minutes ago, you're doing so into an Ags Ice Blast. And that's tough to begin with, as well as what we see right now, Moonlight Shadow. They may be able to catch one out. Look at that damage! Arrow's going to be shot, but it didn't even need anything. He 3-shotted that Rubik. Good coil, will catch Shallow. He will go ahead and hook and snap it. Fada right beside him. Let's see if they've got the damage. They do. Dagon brings him down as Mouse just outmaneuvering Relax at every turn.
Yeah, Mouse at this point, they're so confident in how they're playing, and Relax just every move they make, you can see they're not confident in themselves. That's it. Like, they're running around like they're not sure what they want to do at this stage of the game, and they're just getting picked off.
Yep. They have that kind of panicked look.
Yeah, they're very indecisive. Arrow going out, not gonna hit.
So much that's due to Mouse, though. Like, yes, they're making mistakes, but Mouse has done such a phenomenal job of pressuring them everywhere that it's going to be one of those games where it just feels like no matter where you go, you're not safe. So even if you have a general idea of what you want to do in mind, you're scared to even wander out into the jungle, even as a pack of 2, because what just happened happens. Now they get a tier 2 off of it as well, so Mouse beginning to hit perhaps a point of critical mass. Rubik did get Sacred Arrow, though. Not bad.
Yeah, that could get him a pick off.
Yep.
As you can saw with Pycat, he got so many pickoffs with that arrow, but he's just going to scout with it. Not as good as scouting as it was last patch, but I really feel like they need to be fighting right now. Relax needs to take a fight because they're pretty strong right now, and it seems like whatever they're doing now is not working because they're just getting picked off.
Yep. I feel like they, like you said, to distill your phrase, they missed a big window. Yeah. And now their team composition not nearly as strong as it could have been. They didn't generate enough of a lead. Phase shift dodges Rubik's Sacred Arrow, so that's on CD for a while. Here we go, clap. And the initiate, there's going to be a hook as well that connects on the Misery. Brew trying to pursue them down. Poss could be in trouble. Pycat doing what damage he can, but he's eating a lot. Here comes Tame My Wild, who used his BKB, looking to clean up shop. Poss is hiding in the trees, hasn't been spotted yet, but will be soon, one would think. Yep, gave away the auto attack. He's going to end up dropping. It's going to be a 2 for 2 so far, but that was just the Aegis they managed to get that time. Instead, it's a 2 for 3. And yeah, that was probably about as well as that could have gone for them, and guess what? They still lost the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, it's really tough for them at this point. Like, they've had fairly sloppy initiations in the team fights, and that window that they did have is closing. Mirana is getting extremely farmed. She should have something on the quarter other than that, shouldn't she? Yeah, she has almost a Monkey King bar now.
Jesus.
She is extremely
that is massive. This might be the biggest one-position tri-lane Mirana I've ever seen. It really might. I can't think of a Mirana this farmed at this stage of the game in a professional game. Here we go, big reactions. Phaeton left behind. They're going to use Moonlight Shadow to secure their escape. Phaeton phase shifting a little bit. There's going to be an arrow that'll miss the mark this time. They do manage to track down Phaeton, and not going to be able to do a whole lot, but leaving behind. The wall was deployed by MSS, and they do get the deny on the tower. Doesn't look like Pycat's done going to work yet. Maybe hoping to catch a straggler. AA ultimate misses. Shot a little bit behind. But Puck's still down for 50 seconds. Tough to fight without him. As far ahead as they are, they do need that range. He has 3 levels of Dagon back at the base. Oh, wow.
Why not at this point? Like, if you can get in there and blow up any of these heroes, you might as well go for it. I was a little worried for mousesports lineup when I saw it, because, like, all right, they have to get so much work done, or they're in big trouble, just because Relax's lineup is just much more rounded than Mouse's is. And they did it. They got so much work done, an unbelievable amount of work done. And now Relax is in a position where they're just kind of running out, and you can see here, like, oh, he misses on the arrow, but every time they walk up by themselves, they're threatened to get killed by either this Mirana hitting an arrow or this Puck with his, like, Dagon 4 or something at this point. And I'm not sure what their plan is at this point. Every team fight they try taking, they're just getting outmaneuvered.
Just call it hard hat Dota, man. This is what Mouse does. And there are a lot of teams that play this way. Mouse is just playing better this way than just about anyone at the moment, at least in the qualifiers. You know, picking these lineups that have a very specific set of things you have to accomplish. You don't have a lot of ways to get yourself back behind, or if you on. I want that bad.
Get it? Can't you have the D2O make one or something?
I could, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a EG thing. We don't really ever have subscriptions. But who knows? Maybe
Get one.
consider this a public plea, Alex G. Make it happen, man.
Make it happen.
Game on. Still Mouse's game to win or to lose. They are going to smoke and look to press their advantage already.
And who will they go for? I guess they'll go for anyone that's by themselves, as they tend to. Oh, it looks like we have an engage onto the clockwork, and he's going to fog it for now, but
Yep.
Goodbye, my friend.
Yep. Shallow. Oh, wow. They actually spent...
Yeah. That Dagon.
That level, what is that, 4 or 5? I think it's 4, yeah. That level 4 Dagon. 700 burst damage, not bad.
Yeah, just like 503 or something damage it just did to him. Quite a lot.
Not bad. They are going to go ahead and continue to keep the pressure up, though. And they actually have a chance to cut off the retreat of the... It looks like they're like, don't know where they are. We're dead. We're going back to the fountain. It's fine. But yeah, Mouse should be able to do this pretty much for the foreseeable future. Barring a huge win from Relax, they just may as well get used to the way it feels to stand on those steps, because they're going to be hemmed up and pinned up for a while.
All right, and Fada probably goes for a solo kill here. Oh, doesn't get the Dagon. Forces a BK. He has to be KB, because if that AA ult hits, he does have an Agnum Scepter. That Dagon 4 connects, and one other nuke, he is done, so...
Yep, they are going to go ahead and pull back. I'm actually surprised they're not just setting up shop in the jungle and just starving them out. Looks like they want to get all of the lanes pushing the correct way, maybe way down another age. It should be about 90 seconds, I think, until Roche is back up.
Yeah, they don't have, like I was mentioning, they do not have the best, like, base-breaking lineup.
Yeah.
So they do need an Aegis to help them push, or they just need to be extremely farmed. And they're getting there. They've got a lot of gold on the Starks here, up to 3.5k gold. And what any other big items coming out? Not really, but that's they've just bought all their items, so they're extremely farmed now.
Well, ALT shot it. Wow, that's actually big. They may end up losing Phaeton for it, though. Shalow's there to follow it, and he's going to go ahead, phase shift. Can he jaunt? He can. Very little health, less than 100, still being pursued out. There's a drive-by mech, MSS trying to help him out as best he can, looking for a surge maybe. Nope, just going to blink away. And now MSS the target, but that's a waste, and they may just decide to go push. I can't believe they didn't get a kill there.
Yeah, at this point, Fada's just baiting them out. He's baiting out Panda ults, BKB charges, and Rubik, he's going to still surge and just get out fine. But they're just making them use everything. They just have to blow all their cooldowns defensively.
Misery was winding up for the Fiend's Grip. He'll get it now, maybe. Yep, there it is.
And the courier.
ALT is there, and Pycat, kaboom. Down for 70 seconds. Did the courier actually end up dying there?
Yeah, the courier did die there.
Yep. Dead. Oh, wow, it had a Demon Edge on it, too.
Yeah, that had the Shadow Fiend's Demon Edge.
That is awesome. That's an awesome functionality, by the way. It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, it was just implemented.
Yep. Sexy stuff. Hashtag BTS prod value.
And they're freaking out because it's not going
now
it's
there
gone.
it goes. That was the first time it's ever been tested. And yeah, just testing it live. Don't worry, guys. It's only the freaking international. It's all right. Don't worry. But Shadow Fiend biffed it again. Courier, I want to guess that was probably his Demon Edge, too.
Yeah, it was his Demon Edge, and he's getting close to that Daedalus. I assume, did he didn't have the money. I thought he had the money for it, but just the Demon Edge, not the full Daedalus. But he's not going to be able to grab that for another...
Is under attack.
I don't even know what time. Oh, it does have the recipe. Oh, it didn't show the recipe. Wow. Back to the drawing board, guys.
Again,
Radiant's
testing the software. It's only the international. Only, you know, $8 million, guys.
Like, he definitely had money for that, but I was looking at your screen, and it's like, okay. It just had a magic stick and Demon Edge on it, but no, it did have the recipe as well.
Still really cool, by the way. I am trolling for anyone who thinks I'm actually frustrated. I think it's awesome. Roshan, about to drop again. No way they can contest this. Hell, they can barely get out of their base, let alone make it to the Roche pit. And Tane is getting rather large, but I don't think he by himself is going to have the firepower to stem the mousesports tide.
He definitely does not. And Mirana at this stage of the game, when she has this, she's up to 3k gold after she kills Roshan here and an Aegis. She's probably going to go for more aggressive items, probably a Daedalus, maybe for a Deso if they want to. It's not the best damage she could possibly get, but it'll help break high ground, which they're kind of lacking right now. So she's going to get another item sometime soon, and at some point they do need to start sieging the high ground. They're in no real rush considering the late game isn't the greatest on Relax. I was going to say Panda could scale well in the late game, but not against this Mirana. She's
not like
too
this.
farmed, yeah.
The Shadow Fiend has done what he needed to do, which is farm and do damage when you can. The two heroes I have felt zero influence from this entire game practically is the Brewmaster and the Shadow Shaman. It has not felt like those two heroes have really been here. Like, yes, they've gotten off the Panda Ultimate, and yes, it's worked somewhat, but in terms of the way that those heroes should make the first 20 minutes of a game feel, just no presence whatsoever.
Yeah, I would go as far as, like, pretty much 4 of them have made no impact for me. Like, the Shadow Fiend, you can argue that he has good farm, but he's actually made no impact as well and onto this game other than having good farm. And the Rubik for me is the only one who's actually made any plays this game. Clock has done decent, but
he's hit his hooks.
Yeah, but that's all you can ask for. But Rubik has made a couple plays outside of that, so he's doing okay. But it looks like they're going in.
Hook this time. There's going to be a leap. Pycat leaps right over it. Forstaff gets him out of trouble. Do they want to pursue? They're going to get the dust off. Sentry's down as well. If they get Pycat, the Aegis, no good vacuum wall. And now Tame caught with that Fiend's Grip. He's blown to pieces. 3 down for none. And the Ancient Apparition likely to be saved here as well. Pursuing out what remains, just the Brewmaster. The Rubik will blink away, and looks like they're going to let him go. And in the meantime, yep, they're going to find Yoki. So what could have been great blows up in their face. 4-0, 27-13. Last remaining outer tier tower next on the list. Looking to crack high ground next.
Not looking good. This Mirana is out of control.
Yeah.
And they actually can't fight anymore. Like, it's kind of impossible.
Just at all.
Yeah, they really can't. Like, this Mirana does have a butterfly flying out here. This A ult has been on point. Whenever Shadow Fiend tries getting his combo off, and he's the only one that does damage, she just gets gripped instantly. They weren't able to cancel it, and Fada, he can solo kill anyone pretty much at this point with that Dagon, and he has 4k gold. Not sure if he's going to have time to use it, but maybe he goes for E-Blade here and just, he can probably even one-shot the Panda at this point with that combination.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Looking to beat their chest and sound the victory drum soon. The team coordination, as you said, has been phenomenal out of them. Yep, Fada's going to go in. Dread. One last auto attack secures it right before the jaunt, so a mega kill for Fada now. And a couple of items coming out. Scythe for the Darkseer. Butterfly now done for the Mirana as well. Daedalus done for Tame, but probably going to be too little too late. They're still hanging around here. Here we go. Brew comes in with the clap. He's going to be blown up immediately. BKB up on Tame. Will be able to bring down Pycat with one last raise. Charging out, trying to do what damage he can. Got one more too. The Bane dropping there. Pycat has to bounce out. Now there's a vacuum to bring it back into the coil. 3-man coil. They're all trapped. Wall goes down once again. Tame takes the big biff again. 75 seconds down. Doesn't matter because the GG's called right at the 38-minute mark. Relax finally relents, taps out, and Mouse improves to 2-0. Off to a great start here in this European qualifier. And yeah, if there's been a game that you could have asked to see, if you're coming into this going, you know what, I haven't watched Mouse that much. What's all the hype about? I think we just saw the reason.
Yeah, they really abused what a lot of teams would not do is like Shadow Fiend goes for that early, Midas really greedy. Timing windows, like get the BKB up quickly,